What is going on, TubeBuddy community? So basically, I'm not supposed to go on here for another 2 minutes, but I figured, hey, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to come in here and go ahead and hang out because I see that there's a nice amount of people waiting here in chat. And, you know, I don't want to leave you guys waiting. So I figured, hey, I'm going to come in and I'm going to start hanging out. And we'll hang out, you know, give it just a couple of minutes, let some more people come in, let notifications go out and all that stuff. And, you know, once that gets going and we get some people in here, then go ahead and start sharing this right now so we can get some more people in here, some more YouTubers in here so we can help them with their branding stuff. What is going on, Andrew? Nice to see you. My man, Danny's Aquariums. I almost said Daddy's Aquariums. Adam Diddy, what is going on? Keeping it Dutch. What is happening with you? Red Rocket TV, Cricket in the house. What is going on, girl? Nice to see you as well. Beanie Draws. Nice to see you. Man, I'm seeing you everywhere now. I met you in Tim's stream, and now you are all over the place. This is awesome. I love how that works. All right, so we've got a minute to countdown. So everybody, you know, share this on Facebook, any YouTube communities that you have. Pale Rider TV, what is going on? Nice to see you, my friend. Yeah, share this everywhere that you possibly can that YouTubers are hanging out so we can get more people in here to this stream as we are getting started. Today we are talking about channel branding, different things that you can do to express your brand and to really tighten in and dial up your brand here on YouTube. So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. I'm super pumped up, super excited. It is going to be a good time. Creator Fundamentals, what is going on? Dan, nice to see you in the house, my friend. Electric Flux, what is happening? Nice to see you in the chat as well. It's 8 o'clock. So we are 8 o'clock my time, 9 Eastern time over on the other side of the planet right now. So this is the scheduled time to start. So I guess it's time that we go ahead and get into it. So the notifications hopefully went out. Hopefully you are sharing this on your social media like I have. If not, go ahead and start sharing that right now if you could while we are getting this ramped up. I figured this would be more effective than just sitting here with my, let's see here. Thank you, Andrew, for that Google form. I appreciate it. Yeah, I figured this would be more effective than just putting that thumbnail splash up there like I normally do. So if I could get some feedback really quick just to make sure everything looks okay, make sure it sounds okay, make sure everybody's hearing me, everything's working out good on your end of this conversation. Everybody doing good? Yep, shared. Awesome. Lovely Kid Japan. Thank you. Nice to see you in here as well. Unhappily a housewife. What is going on? Is Brian G in here? Did I see Brian G jump in? Oh, Brian G Johnson in the house. What is going on, my friend? Nice to see you in here. One of my slides that I have here today has the word ritual in it, and I'm referencing you, as a matter of fact, because that's how we roll. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to talk about channel branding today. We are going to talk about what it is. We're going to talk about why channel branding is important. And we're going to talk about what you can do to dial in and fine-tune your channel branding here on YouTube. Now, a lot of people think, when they think of channel branding, they think of, well, that's just my logo. Or they think, well, channel branding is basically just my artwork. You know, channel branding is what I put at the top of my page on YouTube. That's all my channel branding is. A lot of people think that. But your channel branding, your overall branding on YouTube, it ripples throughout your entire YouTube experience for the people that watch your content. It's your thumbnails. It's how you act in your videos. It's the things that you say. It's how things look. It's how you interact. It's, you know, your actual art, your video, your style. All of that comes into play when it comes to branding. So the first thing that you have to figure out, or the first thing that we're going to talk about, is the actual goal of branding. The goal of branding is simply to make your content and you and what it is that you are doing identifiable and familiar with the people that are going to be watching and consuming your content. Super, super important. And the reason that you want your content to be identifiable and that you want people to basically recognize your content and get familiar with your content is you want it to be, you know, you want your videos, you want your channel, you want everything that you're doing to be familiar with the people that are into it to where they can recognize it anywhere on the internet. And you want it to be familiar in terms of, once you start building your tribe, so to speak, you want it to be to where it's a comfortable spot for the people that are consuming your content, to where when they watch your content, they feel involved. They feel like they're part of the team. They feel like they are part of what is going on with what you are doing as well. So it makes it more of a group thing when it's familiar, instead of having that separation between me and them, so to speak. So the first thing we're going to get into here, because it is what a lot of people think branding is, and this is part of it. But there's a lot more than this. But we're going to talk about the artwork, which is the very first place that we're going to start. Casper, what is going on? Nice to see you, my friend. The artwork, the logo, your channel art, your thumbnails, your intro, lower thirds, transitions, end screens, miscellaneous graphics that you use throughout your channel. It's really important that all of this stuff matches up, right? So when somebody looks at your thumbnail, it's symbolic of what is going on in your channel art. When somebody sees your video graphics, it's symbolic of what is going on in your thumbnails and in your channel art. When somebody sees your Facebook header that's also attached to your YouTube channel, everything is seamless across the board. Like, as an example, if you look here, part of my branding is basically I do my letters with the box around them, right? And this is just some of my video graphics that I use. You have my intro. Usually there's an actual video playing behind that, but there's the intro. And then I have my subscribe call to action. And with that subscribe call to action, basically I say to subscribe and click the bell to remind them to go ahead and click the bell. And with that, I have my logo behind that, which is also in motion in the actual video form. I have the transitions, which are also, with my logo and in motion in the video form. And I have my end screen right there as well. Now, if you look at the fonts, with the exception of the subscribed, because with that I pulled that from YouTube's branding, but everything else I'm using the same fonts, I'm using the same styles. It's all similar in format. It's all similar in design, look, feel, and style. So that part of it, as far as the artwork is concerned, is extremely important. Now, I'm going to give you some tips before we get into these other versions of branding. When it comes to your channel art and when it comes to your thumbnails, it is extremely important, and your video graphics, it's extremely important that you pick a color set, a color palette that basically represents you and represents your brand on YouTube. Super important. It's also super important that you pick a font or a font set that also represents you and what it is that you are doing on YouTube. It's also, right, we're going to keep going on these alsos. It's also extremely important that you create a style that is unique to you, to where when people see that style, they think, okay, yeah, I know this is, channel ABC, right? So you want to get your colors together that you want to use, and you always stick to those colors. You want to get your font set or your font that you use. You want to always stick to those, and you want to get your styling together. And if you want to be really picky about it, which, you can or you cannot, if you want to go at it kind of loosely, you can, or if you want to be really strict, you can also dial in your actual channel space, or not your channel spacing, your letter spacing, your line spacing, and all of that. So basically, to where you're like, hey, if this top headline text is going to be a font size of 75, then that means any sub text is going to be a font size of 45. You know what I mean? So you can dial it in and be that specific and be that strict on it in your artwork all the way across the board. But that's not as important. I mean, it is technically, but that's not as important as dialing in your colors and fonts in the actual style that you are going to roll with. Now, when it comes to your actual channel art, since we're talking about that, there's something that I really want to recommend, because on my channel, on Saturdays, I do channel reviews. Basically what it is I don't do them every Saturdays, but I do them a lot of Saturdays, to where, I'll do my live stream that is at the beginning, and then I'll slide into looking at viewers' channels, to where I'm saying, hey, you should do this, you should do that. This doesn't look, this is hard to understand. I can't really figure out what's going on in your channel or whatever. So one thing that is a common occurrence in those reviews is when I open a page and I get that first impression of what is going on someone's channel page, I don't have any idea of what's going on. I have no idea what content they offer. I have no idea what it is that they're providing for the viewer, which I'm going to get into here later in this stream. But I have no idea anything that's going on. And when I look at their channel art and then I look at their thumbnails, there's nothing that connects all of these elements together. Nothing that makes it familiar for the viewer, for the subscriber that's already into their content, to recognize their content throughout the internet. And all of that is super important. Like, as an example, when I land on your channel page, in the very top in your channel art, I should know in a split second what it is that you are doing. I should know the type of content that you are making on your channel, because basically when you open anybody's channel page on YouTube, the first place your eyes go is that channel art. If your channel art is done properly, the first place their eyes should go when that page loads is right to your channel header, right? And when they see that channel header, you want it to be as clear as humanly possible what it is that you're going to do for them, so they can make that split-second decision to keep on scrolling through your channel page to try to consume your content and figure out, if what you're doing is right for them or not. Now, the same exact thing applies to thumbnails, right? Since we're talking about the art portion of this, the same exact thing applies to your thumbnails. If you have thumbnails and there are a bunch of different styles, a bunch of different colors that you're using, a bunch of different fonts that you're using, and nothing is really congruent, right? Is you do, like, if everything doesn't match up, if nothing matches up, then people can't recognize it when it shows up on their homepage. And this is hurting a lot of people, because what is extremely important is when you have a subscriber, you've already made the sale, essentially. When you have a subscriber, you have somebody that has said, hey, you know what? I liked one video enough, or I liked 2 videos enough, or 3 videos enough, whatever their personal thing is, and I liked it enough to subscribe, right? So you've made the sale. You've converted that person to somebody that had no idea what it was that you were doing, to somebody that is actually at least sort of into the content that you're making, right? So what you want to happen, and this is why the branding, the visual, the artwork branding side of this is so important, is what you want to happen is when your thumbnail shows up on a home screen, right? You want them to say, oh, I recognize that. That looks just like, this person's stuff, right? This person that I'm into, it looks just like their stuff. So I'm going to click on that. Now, if you add your face to it, then that takes it to a whole nother level, because if you are the personality for your channel, then if you add your face to it, then it also, 1, the face grabs more attention. 2, it's more clickable. 3, that's one more strong connection to identify that it is actually your content. So to recap what we just talked about, basically on your channel art, you want to make it easy to understand the type of content that you're making. As an example, on my channel, I say subscribe for YouTube and video tips. Really big, bold text. You can't miss it. Super easy to understand the type of content it is that I make. Angie Atkinson, what is going on? Nice to see you in here. Gord Eisman, what is going on? Nice to see you too, my friend. Doug, nice to see you, dude. Nice to see you in here. But yeah, all of that stuff is super, super important when it comes to getting people to recognize and be familiar with your brand, right? Big hairy face, absolutely. Yeah, like my big hairy face, you can't overlook my big hairy face on my thumbnails. If I pop up on your homepage, you're gonna know that it's me. And I personally believe that because I'm winning the clicks like crazy, that's a huge, huge part of the growth that I'm gaining right now on YouTube. And I'm about to cross 50,000 subscribers, by the way. So if you want to help with that and you want to learn how to grow your channel, make videos, and all types of other YouTube-related stuff, head over to my channel for that. They've got a link to that down in the description below. But the next thing that I want to get into with branding is your voice or your tone. This is basically how you communicate with your viewers through your content. Are you fun? Are you serious? Are you helpful? Are you crazy? Are you outrageous? Are you, off the wall? Are you condescending? Like, how is it that you communicate with the people that are watching? Yeah, subtle plug, right? How is it that you are communicating with the people that are watching your content, right? Like what approach are you taking with them? Having that ironed out and saying, okay, this is the tone, this is the voice that I'm going to use, this is how I'm going to communicate, and this is how I'm going to create my content so that it gives. I'm gonna have to stop looking at these chats. I'm gonna go hysterical here in a second. But basically, you want it to. Hold on. Let's see here. I'm gonna move this over that. There we go. But basically, what it is you want the your voice to be congruent through your entire channel. Like Angie, she just popped in here, and you're actually a great example of this, because Angie helps people who are basically overcoming or have gotten through dealing with a narcissistic person, right? In like a negative way, to where it's caused, issues and whatnot. And she helps them with that. And because of that, the tone that she takes, she's helpful, she's kind, it's a caring thing, right? So she's created this community around her channel that is caring, it's open, it's honest, it's non-judgmental. You know what I mean? And that is part of her brand. So basically, by creating that content and approaching her community in that way, then that's the voice that she is using for her brand. Good job, Angie, by the way. Next up on the list is your messaging, your actual messaging, your literal messaging. What is it that you are doing for your viewers? Are you inspiring them? Are you entertaining them? Are you helping them solve problems, etc.? Basically, this is where variety channels, unless there's an anomaly, this is where variety channels really get hurt, is because their messaging isn't synchronized across all of their content, because they have this particular video. Well, hey, I'm going to show you how to cook this, but then here I'm going to try to make you laugh with my comedy videos that are completely different, right? So you have the different types of people that they're attracting, the different expressions of their brand, and that makes for a really difficult connection. So basically, you have a viewer that connects with you with your branding on this video because it resonates with them for whatever reason, but then on this particular video it doesn't resonate with them, and they end up not consuming as much as your content, or they just don't get as deeply involved with you and your content as they otherwise would have, because your messaging isn't congruent. So real quick before we get into the next one, there have been a few questions in here. One of them that popped up that was asking how to brand your thumbnails. There's a few different ways that you can do this. One way, just to go ahead and answer that, we're going to slide into Q&A here in a little bit, but one way to brand your thumbnails is you can basically put a little logo on it somewhere. Two, if you dial in your branding for everything across the board, for your channel art, for your video graphics, for all of your social media, you say, okay, these are all of the assets. These are all of my brand elements for everything it is that I'm using to promote my channel or to promote my brand on YouTube, right? So in my case, I don't use a logo. I don't use any type of actual branding frame or anything like that on mine, because the way that I structure my text and my thumbnails, and I use my face as part of my branding. Basically, I have my face, which is my brand, obviously, and I have the way that I style my text that is congruent with everything else that I'm doing on my channel. So basically, when someone looks at my thumbnails, without a question, more so because of my face than anything, but without question, they know that it's my content. Now, if you are not using your face and you are not using a specific person, or you're not using a specific font set or something like that, then in that case, you can put in like a branding frame, or let's say that your thumbnail is this screen right here, right? And you have all of your text over here and all of your graphics or whatever, or let's say that you just use a picture, depending on the type of content that you make. All you need to do is, let's go right here, is just put a little thing right up here in the corner. Well, there it is. That's kind of hard to do backwards. But basically, you put a little thing up here up here, there we go. Man, this is tough. All right, there you go. Good thing I didn't just get pulled over by the cops, right? But basically, you put this, you just put a little graphic up here in the corner. Still having trouble. Woo! You put a little graphic up here in the corner, just like a little triangle or something like that with a logo on it or something like that, and that can usually do the trick as long as it's big enough for people to identify. And I got to go ahead and stop the show real quick. Razalian says that they like the Stormtrooper in the back. Thanks. I appreciate it. Next up on the list, Brian, is Ritual. And Brian G. Johnson, who's in the chat right now, he just had a book come out called Tube Ritual. If you have not picked that up yet, you definitely should go to Amazon.com and search for Tube Ritual, Brian G. Johnson. It'll come up. Amazing book. It'll help you jumpstart your journey to 5,000 subscribers. And one of the things that is important on your channel is rituals. And the reason for that is because it creates comfort and a connection through repetition. Now, rituals can be expressed through catchphrases, through your video structure, through songs, through other miscellaneous references, be them visual or audible or whatever. Basically, it's just things that you repeat throughout your video library that your viewers can tune into, right? That's another part of, that's another part of branding that is extremely important. Now, as an example here, you have Brian G. Johnson. We're going to go ahead and talk about him since he's in the chat. You have Brian G. Johnson with his, high five, with his, feed a poodle. He's got two, and all of that stuff. With me, I have my start right now thing. I have my doing, my hashtag doing because I say doing funny. If you look at Philip DeFranco, he has his beautiful bastards. Jacksepticeye has his top of the morning to you laddies, and things like that. But you find that rippled throughout all or most big channels on YouTube. And the reason for that is because that's one of those things that make the viewers feel connected. Because if you watch his videos, if you watch Jacksepticeye, we'll go with him. If you watch his videos once, you're going to be like, okay, what's going on? Why did he even say that? But if you watch his videos 10 times, then it becomes something to where when he says it, you're like, oh, yeah. And then you start looking forward to him saying it, right? Like, since Brian's in the chat, we're going to keep going on him. It's pick on Brian day. It's highlight Brian G. Johnson day. But, like in his, when he does his high five, it kind of makes you want to be like, yeah, high five. And when his end card pops up and he talks about feeding the poodles, he has two. If you watch his content on a regular basis, you can say it along with him. You know what I mean? Because you're a part of the community. You are a part of what's going on in his channel. It's familiar and it's comfortable, right? It's something that you expect, something that you essentially depend on and you expect when you're watching someone's content who uses a lot of this stuff. Now, on the ritual side, again, you also have your video structure. How do you structure your videos? When your video first opens, are there things that you say? Are there things that you do? Do you just hook your viewers going to a particular intro? Your intro itself is part of your ritual. The entire video structure is part of your ritual. But, how your intro comes in, how it goes out, things that you say, right after your intro. When you toss in your value proposition or you, and poof, pixie dust. That's another one too. I'm kind of on the spot here. So that one slipped my mind, Brian. But yeah, with Brian, I mean, poof pixie dust. That's the biggest one. You know what I mean? And because I'm on the spot here, kind of let that one go in my brain. But yeah, the poof pixie dust is another one with Brian. And the funny thing is, Brian's branding is so strong on his channel that he has his viewers come to my channel. Like, he doesn't say, hey, go to Nick's channel. But what happens is, people that watch Brian's videos will come over to my channel, and they'll leave like poof pixie dust comments on mine. Oh, hey, you must have used some pixie dust on that or whatever. And it's funny because, me and Brian do videos together and we reference each other a lot, if you haven't noticed from this live stream. But we reference each other a lot. And because of that, people know that if they come to my channel and they say Brian related things, that I'm going to get it. And that makes it, that basically makes his community and my community like a similar community, because not only are you in on what's going on in his community and you're in on what's going on my community, but you're also in on what we're both doing, which is pretty cool. So, but yeah, with your video structure, basically, you know, you have your intro, whatever stuff it is you say there. You have your actual logo intro if you use one of those. If you don't use one of those, that's totally fine. And you know, pass that. And then whatever it is you say when your video comes in, like me as an example, you know, I have my value proposition, which is part of my messaging, which is basically, you know, if you want to learn how to grow your channel, make videos and all types of other YouTube related stuff, go ahead and subscribe and hit the start now by subscribing and hit the bell so you don't miss anything, right? So that's also something that people get used to. As an example, I've modified mine in the past, like what it is that I say, and I've actually had people say, whoa, that was weird that you said it that way, because I changed what I was doing and viewers caught on and it was uncomfortable, right? So that alone shows how important, you know, running through those rituals are. So on the thumbnail branding, just to go back to that again really quick, on the thumbnail branding, because I kind of got derailed, if you are trying to brand your thumbnails, just putting something really small and really noticeable in a corner somewhere, or, you know, down in the bottom of your thumbnail or something like that will usually do the trick. But more importantly, if you use the same font color, or you use the same fonts, you use the same colors and things like that, then people will learn to get familiar with your content, because they'll learn to, they'll have that connection to your brand, and they'll be able to identify it, pattern recognition. So Razman's Reality, what is going on, my friend? Nice to see you. So with those things out of the way, do you guys have any questions on any of the branding stuff that we've talked about so far? Let them roll. Let them roll. Yeah, I have. I just saw somebody asking about live, the OBS stuff, and yeah, I definitely have tutorials for that on my channel. So definitely go and check that out when you get the chance. Yeah. So Andrew says that he actually associates me with stormtroopers, which, yeah, that's kind of unintentional on my part. But on the flip side, you know, like originally I started using the stormtroopers because I'm a Star Wars fan, right? And I started using the stormtroopers to basically connect with other Star Wars fans, right? So when they see my stormtrooper stuff, they think, you know, oh, okay, well, he's a stormtrooper fan, so I'm going to subscribe to this guy just because he has stormtroopers, right? And then it went, you know, way beyond that, because I'm, you know, I mean, I've got a helmet back there, so I'm like really into, you know, Star Wars. So because of that, you know, a lot of people do connect with me with that. And some people, you know, like Andrew, for example, does connect me, does think about that when, you know, when he's talking about me. Gord Eisman asks, hold on, let's go up. Okay, Monica's Kitchen asks, what may be the length of intro which give good branding intro for the channel? First off, I want to say that it is not crucial that you use a logo intro, like a full screen logo intro. It's not crucial. If you do want to use one, keep it between 3 to 5 seconds. Here's something that you have to keep in mind with your in-video branding. The people that come to your channel and the people who watch your videos, they are there for the information or the comedy or whatever other type of content it is that you're providing for them. They're there for the actual content. They're not there for your graphics. They're not there for, you know, to see, you know, some cool intro every time your video opens up. The reason that I use one on my channel is because it's part of, you know, it's showboating, essentially. You know, I'm just going to call it what it is. It's showboating, because I make videos for video creators, right? I make videos for people that want to learn how to make videos. So it's super important that part of my branding is all of my stuff looks cool, right? So basically, I want people to look at my stuff. When my video first opens up, people see that blue light. They see the contrast between me and that blue light, and that blue light is actually becoming part of my brand as well, which you'll see with my new channel that I'm opening up here soon. But But, you know, the video opens up. For me, for the type of content that I make, it needs to look impressive. And then I have my intro because people see that intro and they think, oh, that looks pretty cool. You know, and I've got the music that goes along with it. And I kind of build the hype during that process. And then I taper it all down once the actual video starts. But my intro is 3 seconds, I believe, maybe 3.5. But I try to make it as fast as possible because that's not really what people are there for. So if you end up using a full screen logo, keep it at 3 to 5 seconds. A lot of people use logos for 10 seconds. I've seen 20-second logos, and all that is that's our personal egos saying, you know, hey, I want to make this look awesome, right? But at the end of the day, when you're making content for your viewers, keep your full screen intros as low or as short as you possibly can. Another thing you can do as well, you don't have to use, as part of your branding, you don't have to use a full screen intro. You can just use a little lower third that pops out. Or let's say you have a square or round logo. You know, while you're sitting here talking on the screen, your logo can just pop up right here. Boop, right? And then it shows there while you're still, you know, saying whatever it is that you're saying. So then you get that exposure of your logo and you get your look, so to speak. There, you get that part of your branding to where they can connect with that, and then that disappears while you're still on screen, so you're not actually creating any type of interruption or any type of stopping point between when your video starts and, you know, when you actually get into your content. Yeah, Angie just says here that she changed hers to a 3-second one, and her audience liked it. And you'll see that happen also in your audience retention reports. If you have a long logo, and I've seen this on tons of channels that I've worked with, if you have a long intro and then you cut that intro down, you'll see in your analytics, in your audience retention, you'll see your drop will change. Yeah, we got to get rid of that guy. You'll see your lock will, or your actual retention. You'll be able to hold people longer through that start of your video when you're not using one of those long ego-driven intros. Next up on the list, I'm going to go up to Gord's question here. Gord asked, trying to find it here. Gord, give me 1 second. If you can, oh, there it is. How do you carry your branding out to other social media? What elements? For the other elements of your social media, everything. You know, part of your visual brand. You know, of course, if you're moving to Facebook, let's just isolate one here. If you're moving to Facebook, then of course you would want to take your whatever it is that you're doing on YouTube, your actual branding there, your visual branding. You'd want to take that and you'd want to move that to Facebook, make something very similar, if not the exact same thing for Facebook. And then any videos that you upload to Facebook, make sure that all of your video graphics are all congruent to what it is that you were doing on YouTube. But at the end of the day, you know, if you're building a brand on social media, not just on YouTube, you want everything to be seamless across everything. It doesn't matter if they're on your website. It doesn't matter if they're on Twitter. It doesn't matter if they're on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or whatever. You want it to be as seamless as humanly possible so that people can connect with it when they see it. Let's see here. A good, bold, condensed font that isn't impact is rare to find. Absolutely. Here are three actually that you can use. As bizarre as it sounds, the default Arial font, if you use a heavyweight Arial font and you squeeze in the kerning on it to where your letter spacing is tighter between your letters, that can actually give a very pleasant looking result. Roboto is also a good one. That is also, they have a condensed version, if I remember right, and that is also bold. Babus is another one. That's real similar to the one I use. The one I use is Alternate Gothic, which is also good. And Myriad Pro, or Myriad, however you say it, that is also a good one with a bunch of different font weight options as well. That was for Beanie Draws, by the way. Companion Wolf says, I have OBS, but unfortunately my computer isn't good enough to live stream. YouTube Live doesn't like me. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Live streams are absolutely awesome. Yeah, Andrew cosigns. He says that 3 seconds is a key for a good bumper, but I would say intros aren't everything and in fact can hurt you. Absolutely. Yeah, without question. That's what I was saying before as far as, you know, you don't have to use them. It's not something that you have to do. You know, a lot of that is because a lot of people want to use logos or intro logos because they see other channels use them and they think they should, but it's not something that they think through in terms of is this affecting my audience retention or not? Let's see here. Now, Andrew, did you send me that Google Doc on Skype? Because I do not see it in here at the moment. You could shoot that over just when you get the chance for the actual questions. Yes, 15 seconds is way too lengthy. Monica's Kitchen, way too lengthy. I would cut that down as soon as this live stream is over. I would cut that down without question. Let's see here. Andrew Connor, thanks. Okay, I have to change. Okay, there we go, Andrew. Got it. Boom. Boom, chakalaka boom. Okay, responses, accepting responses, individual. Okay, so now we are going to, with that out of the way, we're going to, and real quick, just one more time, Pi-V Project, what is going on? Nice to see you. Simple Device Advice, what is going on? Nice to see you as well. Real quick, before I move on to the Google Doc questions, is there anything that anybody wants to know in the chat as well, as far as the branding side of thing is concerned? I'm going to need to send a doc so you can check out my question. Definitely change my name intro. 3 seconds. 3 to 5 seconds is okay. Absolutely. I think mine is 7 or 8. Notice I can trim about 3 off of the end, says Longwell Art. What is going on? Nice to see you in here too. Yeah, so definitely. Anybody here, just as a side note, anybody here anybody that's listening right now, if your intro is more than 5 seconds, it's negative. You definitely want to cut it back to maximum 5 seconds. But again, you don't even need one. You don't even need to use an intro. It's not a requirement. It's not something that you have to do here on YouTube. So if you're doing it for the sake of hey, I see these other channels do it and I think it looks cool, just keep in mind your audience retention and keep in mind what people are actually coming to your channel for. Let's see here. Which comb do you use? I use this one. Yeah, voice tone is very important. Social media TV, social media tech TV. Yeah, it's voice tone, and it's also the actual overall tone. Like, are you genuinely being helpful to the people that are watching your content? Are you genuinely being entertaining to the people that are watching your content? Are you genuinely being inspiring to the people that are watching your content? And is that seamless visually through the things that you say, through the way that you present, through everything, all aspects of your videos? It's really important that it's seamless all the way across. Jimmy Changa, what is going on? Nick, does YouTube algorithm favor faces on thumbnails more than branding thumbnails with logos? I personally don't have any data that says absolutely for sure, but supposedly YouTube does have an algorithm that reads thumbnails, and it does give priority to faces. That's something that has just recently come to my attention. But again, I'm saying that, and I don't have any data. All I'm doing is regurgitating that one. When I share stuff, I like to, make sure that it's like solid information that I've personally tested. But because that information is new to me about a specific algorithm for that, I haven't had the time yet to personally, test it. So that's just something that I've heard. So just take that with a grain of salt, and definitely do your own testing as far as, try some with faces, try some with not. And inside of TubeBuddy, just, this is an excellent feature from TubeBuddy. They offer the A/B testing on your thumbnails. So you can literally run a face test and a non-face test and see if one of them, gets better clicks than the other. On my personal channel, the face does definitely get more clicks. But as far as the algorithm is concerned, I'm not sure 100% because I don't have the data, but I'm not sure 100% that it's going to give you a benefit algorithmically to your channel. Katie Fries, what is going on? Okay. Yeah, I agree, Monica's Kitchen. That's why I kept making those disclaimers, right? Let's see here. Yeah, so Andrew says that basically faces according to YouTube, because he was at VidCon. This is where this information came from. So Andrew is saying that basically faces according to YouTube equal more engagement with known personalities. Okay, good. Yeah, so that clears that up a little bit. Okay, so the first question that I'm going to answer here as we slide into the Q&A, and this is from Gen X Grown Up. And Gen X Grown Up asks, I've so far only been creating canned and packaged content. What's the benefit versus risk of doing live? I'm concerned because I can't so tightly control the look and feel of a live stream. The benefit of going live, and live for me is something relatively new over the past, 5-6 months or so, to where I've been doing it on a consistent basis. For me, the benefit of going live is as long as you have people that are going to come in and watch your content when you're live, as long as you have people that are going to watch your videos when you're live and they're going to watch your videos when you're not live, the watch time that you get from live streams is absurd. Like, it's almost offensive that you get so much watch time. It's absolutely crazy, the amount of watch time that you get. But more importantly than that, as TV's Dead just said, is the engagement that you get with your audience. Like, if you notice, throughout this live stream, I'm shouting out different people. I'm saying, oh, hey, what is going on, Social Media Tech TV? What is going on, Lovely Kid Japan? What's going on, Red Rocket? What's going on, Brian? Because these are all people that, come into my live streams, that participate in my live streams on Saturdays. They're people that I know from, different places on the internet that they at least stop by and say hey during live streams and things like that. So live is, in my opinion, I think live, as long as you have people that are going to come in and watch your live streams, live is absolutely crucial with connecting to your audience as a smaller channel. If you're a huge channel, it's even more. But the thing is once you get to a certain size, the comments and things like that are coming in so fast that it's really difficult to isolate people, and have that conversation with individuals. So as far as watch time is concerned, as long as people are hanging out in your streams or they're watching them on the replays, then the watch time itself is absolutely worth it. Okay, next up on the list here. Oh, you know what? I went up a few here. Let me back up. Let me back that doc up. Okay. Thank you for participating in live stream. Okay. Okay, do you need to buy the fonts to be safe on the copyright side? Excellent question. It depends on the fonts that you use. If you are, I'm glad you mentioned that actually. If you are using a font that is not free to use, then absolutely without question. But if you go and you search for fonts that are free to use, then in that case, then you don't have to worry about it. And by free, I mean on the license side, not just free to download from the internet. As an example, if you go to DaFont, some fonts on DaFont are not meant to be used for commercial use. So that is a fantastic question. I'm glad you answered that, or I'm glad you asked that question. So yes is the answer to that. If you are using fonts that require purchase for a license to use them, then absolutely for commercial purposes. Because if you're monetizing your content, then technically it's a commercial purpose. Okay, Electric Flux says, "Hey Nick, you probably know already, but you are a really awesome and inspirational guy. Thank you, I appreciate that. I'm a small YouTube channel, and in your stream, you said it's important to have branding, and I would like to know how to make a logo. If you think it would help me, please reply." If you want to make a logo, really, when it comes to logos, and okay, you can have a logo that is basically just something that you throw together for the sake of having something that looks cool or something like that. Or you can have a logo that is literally expressive of your brand, right? Something that is symbolic to the type of brand that you have, the type of content that you make, or if you make a channel based on your website or something like that. Like, a logo is a really important thing depending on what it is that you are depending on what it is that you're doing. So if you're wanting to make a logo yourself, which you can, but most likely you're not going to have any of that, symbology or anything like that in there. But like on my channel, I just did my name. I didn't try to do anything fancy with it. I just basically said, hey, I like this font. I'm just going to put a box around it and I'm rolling with that. Right. So I just kept it simple in those terms. But if you're going to make a logo, you can get logos, just general logos. You can get those for like $5 off of Fiverr, right? You can just have somebody make a logo for you. If you're trying to do it yourself, get Photoshop or get GIMP or another type of online graphic editor and try to make your logo that way. But the most important thing to keep in mind with logos is you want everything to be as easy to read as possible at big and small sizes. As an example, like Creator Fundamentals there, and I'm not picking on you, I'm just saying because you just popped up here. Like I see the gear icons in his, right, in his logo on his for his YouTube channel. He has the C and F in there, which I'm familiar with from watching his videos, but I can't really see it as it's very small on my screen right here, right? So when you're making your logo, you want it to be easily recognizable when it's small, and you want it to be easily recognizable and make sense when it's big as well. So for that, I would definitely just head over to Fiverr led to the apocalypse, the adpocalypse. I would definitely head over to Fiverr, or like I said, just try to make one yourself and see if see if you can come up with something cool. But logos are a personal thing. They're really important for your actual brand itself, because this is super important to keep in mind. If you watch my content ever, you always hear me talk about visual authority. Your logo is part of that, and your artwork is part of that. Your thumbnails are part of that. Basically, if your logo looks like a cheap logo, if it looks like a logo that was just thrown together by somebody that doesn't know how to really make a logo, then what's going to happen is it's going to cheapen what it is that you're doing. It's going to cheapen how people perceive your content. Just like if a video opens up and the video quality looks bad or the audio sucks, it cheapens the quality of whatever it is that person's going to say. They might have the best advice in the world or the most entertaining content in the world, but because it looks and sounds bad, people aren't going to give it as much of a chance as they would if it was, if everything looked and sounded right. The same exact thing goes with the logo. If your logo looks like a pro logo, then it's going to make your brand feel more I don't know if expensive is the right word that I'm going for, but it's gonna make it more serious, right? To where people are gonna perceive you a little bit more instead of having like a cheap brand. So pardon the rant there. Let's see here. Longwell Art says, so how about when you have a logo like mine, which is my face? How about that large with teaser text instead of my logo, my face, and text? Hold on. So how about when you have a logo like mine, which is my face? Mine's also my face. As far as my actual YouTube, if you're talking about logo in terms of the YouTube profile picture logo, yeah, mine is also my face. How about that large with teaser text instead of my logo, my face, and text? If you're talking about specifically the logo that is your profile picture, then yeah, in that case, you can put teaser text on there or something like that. But again, you want it all to be as easy to read when it's small as possible if you're using it for your channel logo. I'm in the process right now for the new channel that I'm working on, Creator Insights, with my brother, which you can just go to YouTube and type in Creator Insights, and then you'll see the actual channel page for that. And I highly recommend that you go and get subscribed for that right now, because the content that we're going to be putting out on there is just going to be super valuable for people to make content. But what I'm working with right now, because all of the graphics and stuff like that on there is temporary. So one of the things that is really important to me right now is having the text to where I'm using the right font. So when it's small, like you can see right now, if you look in the chat box, so when it's small, that you'll be able to read the text as well. TV's dead. Yeah, man, I'm all about the plugs, right? Absolutely. But yeah, so in your case, Longwell Art, if you have your face in there, that's cool. But having some text in there or something like that, that is also cool. Basically, you just want to look at it and say, what makes the most sense with what I'm doing. Does putting text in here, saying the type of content that I make, or saying the channel name or something like that, does that make the most sense for my content? Or if you're the main personality of your brand, is it more important to have my face in there? Okay, next up on the list, DexBot. Is there a way to work towards showing up in recommended content for live streams and video content? Last week, I had a lot of new users to my live streams, and they said I was showing up there. I don't know what changed to cause that to happen, but I liked it. What changed to cause that to happen most likely is the amount of watch time that you are gaining on your channel. Also, probably the amount of engagement that you had in your previous live stream and things like that. Or a lot of people are watching live streams that are similar to the content that you are making as well, and that's what can make that happen. Because basically, YouTube will recommend your content more if you're taking people deeper into the platform, if you're holding their attention, as far as watch time is concerned. If you're generating subscribers and things like that, then they'll promote you more internally than they will if you're not using or if you're not generating any of those positive signals. Next up on the list, Drunken Solitaire. I love the name. That's an awesome name, Drunken Solitaire. Absolutely love it. Okay. Let's see here. So, get the branding into the intro video. How long do you recommend an intro video be? Yes, we covered that one. It's 3 to 5 seconds max. They say in the creator tutorial within YouTube that it should tell your story or content. Seems watch time is important. Oh, you're talking about your actual channel trailer. Yeah, with your channel trailer, I wouldn't even do an actual branding logo for that. And let me also say with the intro logo as well, one thing that is really important to keep in mind is you want to have something before your actual branding logo comes up. If you're a huge channel, it's not as important. But if you're, if you're down here in the trenches trying to get momentum going, you definitely want to have some type of content for them, telling them what they can expect from that particular video, or you physically saying, this is what you're going to get from this video. By the time you're finished with this video, you're going to know how to whatever. You know what I mean? Super important before your actual logo comes in. But as far as your channel trailer is concerned, you can do a 1 or 2 minute trailer. That'll definitely do the trick, because the idea isn't to bore them or to kind of burn out their interest on what's going on with your channel. The idea is to, as quick as you possibly can, let them know the type of content, the type of value that they're going to get from watching the videos that are on your channel, and then give a really strong call to action to tell them to subscribe if they want, if they want more of that type of content, or if they want to, learn more about what it is that you're doing on your channel. So as far as that intro is concerned, 1 to 2 minutes will definitely do the trick for you. But again, the most important part of it, YouTube mentions telling your story, which is definitely something you want to do as well, quickly. 1 to 2 minutes, TV's dead. But that's something that, telling your story is something you definitely want to do, but you also want to focus it first on the benefit that the viewer is going to get, and then go into your story, and then make sure you close them on a strong call to action. Okay, numero hoke. Little mix of Thai and Spanish there. Okay, Gen X grown up. I've so far only been creating canned and packaged content. I talked about that one already. Adam Diddy. What do you think about adding text to thumbnails? I think adding text to thumbnails is extremely important, and I'll tell you why. And this is from Adam Diddy. Adam, it's important to add text to thumbnails because someone like me, I'm a visual browser, and there's a lot of other visual browsers out there. There's some people that just look at images, some people that just look in titles, but if you look at the way that YouTube designs things, the thumbnail's the biggest thing that you see. It's the biggest option they get. Secondary is your title, and then in the same font size is your actual channel name and the view count, which are two of the least important things, right? So they're putting their focus on the thumbnail, they're putting their focus on the title. For me, if I'm on my phone and I'm scrolling through YouTube, my battery's getting ready to die, but I'm going to show you here. If I'm on my phone and I'm scrolling through YouTube, what I'm looking at is the thumbnails that are popping up. I'm not looking at the titles, right? Some people definitely look at the titles as well, or they only look at the titles. But for me, because I'm a visual browser, I look at thumbnails, right? So for me, if it doesn't have any text on it, I'll either go past it or, whatever, if I'm just sitting there scrolling through it fast. So for me, as a visual browser, putting text on the thumbnails, I make my text for people like me, because they can always read the title. If they're not a visual browser, if they're into reading titles, then they've got that, because that title's always going to be there. But as far as the thumbnails are concerned, for somebody like me that's a visual browser, if if I'm going through and there's no text on there to tell me what's going on in the thumbnail and it's not super clear what they're doing, then I'm most likely not going to click on it. But if it's super clear what's going on, or they have text on there telling me, this is what the video is about, then I'm more likely to click on it. So for me, when I'm making my own branding, when I'm making branding for other people, when I'm working with consulting clients, basically the thing that I recommend is that you make everything so that you can cover all bases. So, you want to make everything, I don't want to say dummy proof because that's a derogatory term, but essentially you want to make it dummy proof. Basically, you want it to be, so if somebody is under the influence, like if they just had a night out Saturday night and they're sitting in front of their computer and they've had a little bit too much to drink and they're going through and they're looking for content to watch, you want to make it as easy as possible for them to be able to click in and watch your content, right? So one of the ways that you can do that is by putting some text on your thumbnails. It doesn't have to take up a majority of your thumbnail, but having some text on your thumbnail to illustrate what is going on in your content is really good practice, because you're basically taking care of the visual browsers like me, and you're taking care of the other people that are, more into reading titles instead. So you're basically covering both aspects of it, one with your title, one with your photo, your imagery on your thumbnail, and the actual the actual text on there. So I hope that was useful for you, Adam Diddy. Okay, let's see here. Hello Illusion asks, have people ever unsubscribed from your channel because you changed something in your branding or more? People have definitely unsubscribed from my channel. Right now, I have like 43,000 subscribers. And during that process of 43,000 subscribers, I've also lost a ton of subscribers. So, margaritas, Andrew. So for me, and water and margaritas. But for me, the thing about losing subscribers is, as long as you are providing value to the people that are watching your content, as long as that you are making content that people are watching your videos for, or that they're coming to your channel for, that they originally subscribed for, then you're going to lose less people and you're going to gain more people, because everything is going to be consistent across your entire channel. So let's say, as an example, you have like a specific type of content. Jay, nice to see you too, my friend. You have a specific type of content that goes across your entire channel, right? So when you have a new person come in, they have all of that additional content that is similar to the content that they were actually searching for that got them onto your channel in the first place, right? So if you have that, if you have everything, if you stay within the same topics and things like that, and you give your viewers what it is they want, then they're more likely to not unsubscribe from your channel. Now, if you change your visual branding and things like that, in most cases, people are not going to unsubscribe from you because of that. They're going to unsubscribe from you because of the type of content that you're putting out, because it's not going to be giving them what they originally came onto your channel for in the first place. Okay, next up on the list, let me grab a water here before my throat goes out. 8-Bit Pixel says, what are the 3 tips you would give someone? Eat your vegetables. Enjoy your life as much as you possibly can, and don't take yourself too seriously. Those are my 3 tips. But I'm going to assume that you were talking about YouTube for that. So my 3 tips would be consistent. Make sure that you be consistent. Make sure that you're adding value to the people that are watching your content. That can be, you're entertaining them, you're inspiring them, you're teaching them how to do something or whatever. So add value, add value, be consistent, and be patient. That's the 3 main things of advice that I would give for anybody that's starting out on YouTube. From 8-Bit Pixels right there. Mr. Gamerface, I like your name. Is there anything I should know about making jingles? I already made a short 3-second song in GarageBand. The only thing that I would recommend about making jingles is just to, once you get your jingle, stick with it and stick with it for a long time so that people can get familiar with your jingle. That's the whole idea, right? Like on my channel, as an example, I use the same exact song so that people, they get used to that song as well. So your jingle is the same exact thing, right? You just want to make sure that you're using that jingle across the board. Okay. Jimmy Chonga says, I actually unsubbed from a YouTuber who did videos to help people grow their channels and converted over to Nick Nimmin and Roberto Blake. We are happy to have you on board, my friend. Pulling them over one at a time. Dalkinators says, we're getting more views for reaction videos, but our channel is categorized as gaming. Is this a branding problem? No, absolutely not. Because the people that are viewing your content, they don't, they're not looking into what your channel is categorized in. So you're fine there. The only place that might be hurting you is you might be better in entertainment than you would in gaming. But, having it as gaming is still totally okay. And if it's working, like if you're getting more views from that, then you're fine there. But the categorizing your reactions in gaming isn't a real branding problem, but really you should probably be under entertainment. Freelance duck hunting. I recently watched a video from Daryl Eves where he said channels between 1,000 and 10,000 are actually more valuable to sponsors due to engagement rates. Your thoughts? I agree with that. I also know that on my channel right now, I've got 43,000 subscribers, and I have an A++ engagement rating, which is the highest engagement rating you can get on Social Blade. MMA Fight Tips, what is going on, my friend? So with that A++ rating for engagement, I'll keep that for a while. But of course, as the more views come in, more comments are going to come in and things like that. So it becomes harder to keep up. Now, in the event that say maybe you hire someone as your channel gets bigger, say maybe you hire someone to help with comments, or you just say, you know what, I'm going to dedicate X amount of time every day, an hour a day, hour and a half a day to just going through my comments and even leaving simple, small comments on my channel, then that will definitely help because that encourages people to keep leaving comments. Beanie Drawl says 43,000. You rose another 1,000 in a few days. Yeah, as of today, I actually crossed, and this is for Beanie Drawls. As of today, I'm now getting over 7,000 new subscribers per month, which is pretty exciting. Okay, number 13 here on the list. Okay, answered that one. Yeah, another thing too, just to go back on for freelance duck hunting, to go back on that as well. If you have 1,000 subscribers, that is valuable for the sake of the advertiser because they're not going to, like, their reach is going to be good, and they're also not going to have to pay a lot, which is a bonus. And if you get a channel, if you get your channel up to 100,000 subscribers, then everybody has to pay more money to advertise on your channel, so that that starts cutting into their ROI as well. Just to go ahead and say that as well. Okay, let's see here. Nick, hi, thanks for everything. Looking forward to your suggestions. Thanks, Locked Home. Where there's videos. Hi, Nick. What's your thoughts on Lifehacks channel? We get sponsorship with this type of content. Absolutely, Mr. Engineer. You can definitely get sponsorship on Lifehack channels because you can actually do life hacks with the actual products that people give you or work them into the life hacks in some way. YouTubing is a marathon, not a sprint. Absolutely. Let's see here. Lovely Kid in Japan says, I see many YouTubers not put the music in the description. Is that okay? It depends on the license required for that music. If it's a song where it's Creative Commons and attribution is not required, then you don't have to put the song in your description. However, if attribution is required, then you definitely need to make sure that you're doing that. Let me refresh this here real quick, and make sure that I got everybody in this list. Make sure if you have any questions, make sure that you are adding them to that doc so that I can see it. I think I saw one from Andrew in here. Okay, Andrew says, Nick, how can I get you to say my name correctly? Khan sounds like can. Oh, how can I get that clearly across in my branding? I say, hello, it's Andrew Khan, but it's not sticking. Okay, how can I get you to say my name correctly? Khan sounds like can. Okay, so it's Andrew Can. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I've been saying that wrong all of this time. So Andrew Can. What I would do for that is I would make something about that. Like I would make it something like hey, it's Andrew Can, and if I can, you can too, or just something like fun like that, so that it's just it makes that immediate connection to how you say your name. You know what I mean? Like that's what I would do. Is I would make it just something fun that they can connect to. Jimmy Changa. I plan on collaborating with Roberto Blake as soon as possible. He and we keep crossing paths, and virtually here on the internet, we keep crossing paths, and we keep talking about it because we both want to do the collaboration. But he is extremely busy, and in addition to that, we are on opposite sides of the planet. So we have to work around both of our schedules, and we have to work around literally a 12-hour time difference. So that definitely makes it difficult. But there will be one in the future. We just haven't gotten there yet. Okay. That was a funny question, Andrew. I didn't expect that one. It kind of caught me off guard. Okay, let's see here. 14. Let's see here. Dayatamadachi. I hope I'm saying that right. Dayatamadachi. There we go. Hi, Nick. I do source filmmaker animations on my channel. It uses gaming machinima to create skit-like videos. I was wondering if I'm eligible for sponsorship opportunities. Thanks. Yes, I believe so. As long as you have the rights to use the content it is that you are going to be monetizing through sponsorship. I don't know if you're currently running ads on your channel or not, but that's also monetizing. But as long as you have the rights to use that content, then yeah, absolutely, you are good to go. And that's one thing, it's really important that when you're making content and you're coming up with channel names or not channel names, but what it is that you're going to do your channel about and things like that, it's important that you try to future-proof yourself as well, as far as, like when you're using copyright protected content or content that kind of rides the line to where, maybe they put it out right now to where you can use it, but it's kind of unclear if it's okay to use, like with a lot of gaming videos, but people are using it and they're getting away with it, so you think it's okay and stuff like that. Like, in my opinion, there's so much work that goes into a YouTube channel, into growing a YouTube channel, into getting, generating subscribers and views and all of that stuff. There's so much work that goes into it that I highly recommend to people that you try to make original content when you can. I know that kind of X's out the whole gaming community, but making original content future-proofs yourself, as far as if a law changes or something like that, you basically you're safe. You know what I mean? Because all of that work that you've put into your channel, if you're not future-proofing your content, then they can get taken away, if a law changes or, something like that. Yeah, see you guys talking about Social Blue Book in here. Social Blue Book is absolutely amazing, and they can also help you. I've seen, there's been some comments, people asking about sponsorships and things like that. A lot of people, when they think sponsorships, they think FameBit, or they think Grapevine. You can also go to Social Blue Book and set up your account there at Social Blue Book, set up your profile, and Social Blue Book is actively pulling brands in to their platform as well to work sponsorship deals for creators over there as well. So inside of Social Blue Book, you can also see other metrics as far as your community is concerned. That's where I got the stat for my A++ rating. You can also see stats like that, so you can see where you're lacking, and then you can try to figure out how to improve each individual stat. Okay, let's see here. Next on the list, let me go back here. Yeah, make sure that you're dropping your questions into that doc that he is posting in the chat, so that I can make sure that we get them in a nice order here. Amigo, what is going on, my man? Hey, Nick, how are you doing? I saw channels that put emojis in their video titles. Does that make any visual effect putting a topic-related emoji in the respective video title? Talking about a Germany flag, a car emoji, thanks. Emojis do draw attention. They definitely draw attention. I personally haven't experimented with using emojis, with the exception of when I go live, I'll put emojis in. TubeBuddy actually allows you to use emojis as well. That's one of the features inside of TubeBuddy. So so experiment with it. I personally have no data whatsoever on if using emojis in a title is effective or not. So definitely run tests on that to see. I don't know, Andrew. I don't know from TubeBuddy if you guys have any information on that or not, as far as the emojis are concerned. But I know for me, they grab my attention. Me personally. But as far as hard data is concerned, yeah, I can't make a recommendation on that either way because I don't have the data for it. Yeah, I saw a question in here about how much of a song or movie can you use as far as a time limit is concerned. I want to go ahead and address that. You cannot use 1 second of copyrighted music or copyrighted content of any kind in your videos. You can't use 1 second. It is not okay to use any type of copyrighted material in your videos. And if you do it, you risk a copyright strike. Of course, there is fair use. And depending on the type of content you make, you can fall under fair use. And depending on how you frame how you're using the content, like movie reviews and things like that, then you can that way. But as far as saying, hey, I want to make a logo intro, but I want to use 3 seconds of this awesome song that I love, you can't do that. It's illegal, and you risk your entire channel and possibly more on that. Okay, CWT Creeper says, I always put a lot of good tags in my videos and stuff and never get new people on my YouTube channel. Any tips? Absolutely. For the tags that you're making, are you ranking for those tags? That's important. 2, for the tags that you are ranking for, are they tags that people are looking for? Like how are you researching the tags and the titles that you're getting for your videos? Because your SEO on your channel is more than just tags. It's more than just putting a bunch of stuff in that tag box. That's part of it. But your actual title is the most important part of your SEO. So make sure that whatever you're putting in your tags, that you're also making hey, James Riviera in the house. What is going on, my friend? That you're also making titles that people are actually searching for, and that you are wording your titles in a way that make people inclined to click on them, or enticed to click on your titles. Squidiot. Love that name. Awesome name. Hey, Nick, can you actually be successful in a multi-genre channel? Yes, you can. And in a multi-genre channel, your work is definitely cut out for you. But one thing with a multi-genre channel that you don't get on a necessarily specific niche channel is you open yourself up to more opportunities for breakout videos. So if you're trying to make viral content, then in that case, a multi-genre channel, you might be okay there. But if you are if you're in for the long haul and you're trying to actually make like a long-term thing out of YouTube, you can do that viral stuff too. If you can keep pumping out viral content, then you win there for sure. But if not, then it's really beneficial that you pick a niche and that you run with that niche. And keep in mind, if you pick a niche, it doesn't mean that you can only talk about one topic within that niche. If you pick a niche, you can talk about everything within that niche. Your niche doesn't have to be photography. Your niche can be creativity, right? And then within creativity, you have a bunch of stuff that you can put inside of that. So like on my channel as an example, my niche there is YouTube growth and how to do things specifically on YouTube. The new channel that I'm working on, Creator Insights, there's that plug again. The new channel that I'm working on, with that, it's going to be more under the umbrella of content creation in general. So because of that, that opens me up to a lot more things. That opens me up to Facebook. That opens me up to YouTube. That opens me up to Twitter. That opens me up to Instagram. That opens me up to showing how to specifically make content. That opens me up to interviewing content creators and all of that stuff. So, keeping it under that umbrella definitely, opens you up. But still within a niche. Let's see here. CJ, Just tuned in. How about sharing? Should we share our videos as much as possible to all relevant websites, forums, subreddits related to our content? I was thinking of spending a good half hour preparing posts before I even uploaded a video so that as soon as the video is up, I can just shoot out those links. Yes, is the answer to that. As long as you're sharing in relevant places where your content is welcomed and where people will actually go click on the video and actually watch the video, absolutely. If you are sharing your content, and this is a public service announcement right here, if you are sharing your content in YouTube share for share groups or watch for watch groups, view for view groups, whatever, sub for sub groups, if you're doing that, that is not the way to grow your channel. The way to grow your channel is through sharing, like he's talking about here, or like like CJ is talking about, sharing in relevant places, sharing in relevant websites, forums, subreddits, relevant Facebook groups, reaching out to bloggers and trying to work out things with bloggers to feature you there or to write content for their blog for, in exchange for you featuring or being featured in the articles that you write and things like that. Like, that's how you do it. You don't do it in a sub for sub or in a view for view group. What happens there in a view for view group is basically everybody's expected to watch everybody's videos. So somebody will go and they'll leave a comment real quick and then they'll get out of there. So it looks like they watched a video so that they can, in return, get somebody to watch their video, right? But what happens is you're just destroying your watch time and you're destroying your actual session time because somebody clicks on your link, they come into your channel, they watch your video for 10 seconds so that they can leave a comment, and then they close the window and they go back into Facebook to watch another video. So you just killed, you basically started that session, you killed it within 10 seconds because the person that was watching your content did not really want to watch your content. You were just trying to get that view, but the view isn't important. What's important is the actual watch time that you're getting from the view. And Beanie Draws just said, let's see here, would love your thoughts on watch time. Yeah, watch time is definitely more important than views because the more watch time you get, the more views that you're going to get, right? So the more watch time that you get, the more authority that your channel has, the easier it becomes to rank videos, the more YouTube is going to promote your content because if people are watching your videos for longer amounts of time, they specifically say we reward videos that keep viewers watching, right? So if you're accumulating all of this watch time, then they're rewarding each video and they're rewarding your channel as a whole with the authority that you're bringing from all of that watch time. Let's see here. Beanie Draw said Owen Video, who also streams on this channel, or on the TubeBuddy channel. Owen Video did a stream this morning on how to share within Facebook groups, so you guys might want to check that out because Owen definitely knows his stuff. Let's see here. Watch time is king. Absolutely. Okay, let me go back to the doc here. So make sure that you're dropping your questions in that doc so that I can go through them this way in an orderly fashion. Jimmy Changa says, I have an anime channel. If I use images, clips of anime characters to do top 10 videos or reviews, would that be considered fair use or is it still a risk of copyright penalty? Yes, that is more considered fair use. However, you're still running a risk because you're still using other people's content. Here's the thing with the fair use, right, is you can spend your time making content to where you're having to like fight copyright strikes and all the time. You're always dealing with the headaches of having to, dispute copyright claims, or you can make content that is original so that you can just focus on making more content instead of having to do all of this admin stuff to make sure that your stuff stays online. You know what I mean? So yeah, that would fall under fair use in theory. But again, I'm not a lawyer, but in theory that would fall under fair use. But by using someone else's content, you are still opening yourself up. And again, that's how things are right now. But, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, those laws might change and you might lose your entire video library because of it. Sounds dope. Love your name too. I have 600 subs and I want to be able to get on the first page and actually rank my video with SEO over 60. Now I can't even get on the first page with the same SEO over 60. How can I rank my video again? With you ranking your video on the first page, it comes down to your overall SEO, how you're doing your titles, your tags, your descriptions, all of that. It depends on what you're saying in your videos. It also depends on the actual competition that you are going up against. As an example, if you have 600 subs right now, I have 43,000, and if you and I make a video on the same exact topic and we have all of our metadata exactly the same, then I'm going to beat you. And the reason for that is because my channel has more authority than yours does. So if you have 600 subs, assuming that your watch time is low based on your 600 subs, and assuming that your 600 subs means that your views are low and your watch time is also low, then in that situation, I would beat you for whatever terms that we were competing against, as long as all other aspects were the same, but we just relied on the channel authority. So because of that, you have to be really strategic on the actual things that you rank for. And in addition to looking into the actual terms themselves, you have to look into who it is that you're competing against and kind of, gauge yourself against them as well. Now, if a strong channel is in a top spot, but their SEO isn't on point, then you can squeeze in there. But if their SEO is on point and they're a strong channel, then that lessens your ability to rank against them. Simple device advice. Nice to see a question from you. What do you think about live streaming on multiple platforms like Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, etc.? Is it helpful for branding or is it confusing? Absolutely, it's helpful for branding. And the reason for that is because you want to reach your audience wherever your audience is, right? That's something that I don't do, that I need to do, but I don't, is I don't stream on Twitch. I don't stream on Facebook and things like that. I stay YouTube specific because I want to make sure that people are coming to YouTube for my content. But it's smart to branch out and to also stream, on Facebook and Twitch and things like that. What you don't want to do is you don't want to dilute what it is that you're doing. So as an example, right now, I'm looking through the comments as I'm talking, and I'm looking for, things that are popping up, seeing who's in the stream and things like that. And if I was on Facebook also right now, then what I would have to do is I would have to basically keep an eye on YouTube chat and Facebook chat. And then if I was on Twitch, I'd have to keep an eye on that. Periscope, I'd have to keep an eye on that. So basically, what you're doing is you're diluting your attention across all of this stuff, trying to keep track of it. And then what starts happening is you start answering comments off of Twitch that the people in YouTube aren't seeing, and it starts becoming irrelevant to people, right? So it becomes clear that you're multi-streaming. But on the flip side of that coin, it is very effective because you are reaching people that you are, you're reaching people that you are, you're making it easy for people to consume your content, whatever your content happens to be. Andrew says if I went on Facebook, he would cry. Yeah, I'm thinking of doing a page on Facebook and doing that as well, because it is important to me also that I expand my brand. But I'm doing that more with the new channel that I'm working on, Creator Insights. Make sure you search for it and subscribe, by the way. But yeah, on the new channel that I'm working on, I'm going to be doing a lot more Facebook stuff and things like that. Let's see here. Rob's Vlogs. What is the best way to get more people watching your videos? This is a great question because everybody struggles with this, and it's also an easy question to answer because how YouTube works in a nutshell is people are on YouTube because it's the second largest search engine in the world, and they're on there and they're looking for things to watch. They're looking for things to be entertained by. They're looking for problems to solve and things like that. If you can put yourself on the other side of whatever it is that they're searching for, that's how you get more people to watch your content. Basically, they're saying, hey, I want to know how to do this. If you're on the other side saying, this is how you do that, then that's how you get people to watch your content. If you're making comedy videos and they're looking, for something to laugh about, or they're looking for, a particular trending topic, and you've made a spoof about that trending topic, then they're more likely to watch your video because all of your SEO is worked around those topics. So the best way to get views on YouTube when you're first starting out is to learn how to rank your videos in search. SEO, search engine optimization, learn how to rank your videos in search, and that will get your channel going. That will get views coming in. That will get people subscribing as long as your content is good. And then, as that snowball starts picking up, you can get a little bit looser with some of your stuff, but still running with the same, underlying concepts with everything. Let's see here. Next up on the list. Let's see here. We've already got one from you. Techie Pocket. What is it that makes certain channels grow better than others? Like my channel has 148 vids, but it's still only 88 subs versus my friend who has 1,000 plus and he only has 5 videos. And all I can see is that my camera is 1080p versus his is 4K. The only difference I can see. The reason that his is getting more than yours is either it's been shared in a better spot, it has better search engine optimization, he's going for terms in those 5 videos that are stronger terms and more searched for terms than what it is that you're going for, or he just has a better distribution strategy as far as sharing is concerned and getting people actually pulling people in to his videos. Because that's the whole thing with YouTube is you gotta figure out how to get in front of people, right? Because that's if you're not in front of people, then nobody's watching your content. It doesn't matter how good it is. If you don't learn how to get your content in front of people through SEO or through sharing, then you've lost the game. So you have to learn how to rank your videos. You have to learn how to share your videos in appropriate places that will generate viewers and subscribers. No problem, Techie Pocket. Hope that was useful for you. Chasing Tech, what is going on? Okay, so it is now. Hey, no problem, Rob's Vlogs. So I'm going to start winding this down here. So if you have questions, go ahead and drop them in the doc right now, or go ahead and drop them in chat, and I'll start randomly picking them out of there as well. So go ahead and drop them in and let me know what questions you have, so I can go ahead and address some of these for you before I wrap it up here in a few minutes. Fire Clutch, what is going on? Nice to see you. So real quick, while we are waiting for a few more questions to come in, so a few more tips that I want to give you guys is that I want to give anybody that's watching right now is make sure with your content, make sure that whatever type of content that you're making, that you try to make it as good as you possibly can. And the reason for that is because there's something called visual authority, which is basically when people are on the internet and they're trying to watch videos, if your content is good, then as far as it looks good and it sounds good, then people are going to give you a little bit more time than they would normally give you if they did not, or if everything, just looked subpar or just looked like everybody else. If you can develop your own style, it even takes it a bit further so that right when your video opens, they're impressed, and then they give you a little bit more time, a little bit more consideration as well. Mark Rosenfeld asks, how important is regular releases? I post 3 times weekly, but could split one of those into 3, making for 5 times weekly. Is that a good idea? It is absolutely a good idea. The more you upload, as long as everything is still quality content, as long as it's still things that are that your viewers are actually looking for, as long as it's, for your viewers, then absolutely more uploads are definitely better, because basically with every new upload, you get those notifications pushed out. With every new upload, you get your video suggested. With every new upload, you get more chances to rank your videos as well. So as long as you can keep up your quality and you can, get more content out there, then absolutely, I highly recommend that you go for that. Okay, let's see here. How to grow a piano channel when there are tons of piano channels. My niche is gospel music. Awesome niche, by the way, piano-fi. To grow a piano channel, what I would do if I had a piano channel is I would make amazing music videos. Look at the Piano Guys. Excellent example of how to grow a piano/music channel. Look what they've done, right? They basically take their songs, they make their songs, and then they make amazing music videos about around their music. So let's say that your budget's tight and you can't travel to China to make a video on the Great Wall, but you can make videos around your neighborhood, right? So if you're making videos anyway, you can definitely make videos around your neighborhood. So what I would do is I would definitely try to get your foot in the door through making impressive music videos, and then share those videos in relevant places throughout the internet. Yeah. And that's another excellent suggestion from iPile Gaming, is to join forums, communities about gospels. Excellent. And any other community around that type of music. Basically define your target audience and say, okay, well, these are the people that are into gospel music, so I need to put my music where those people are, right? So yeah, that's another excellent tip. Okay, so here I'm going to hop into the document here really quick. And Locked Home, what are your thoughts about paying for promotion on YouTube to get view time? How much does it actually help? The view time that you get from promotions doesn't actually help. It's not counted. The watch time that you get on your channel actually comes from organic efforts, not from paid promotion. If that was the case, then you could basically reinvest. As you got your ad money, you could reinvest into your channel just for the sake of getting watch time, and basically the richest people would win. So so actually paying for that promotion is not going to benefit you in terms of watch time. Now, where it would benefit you is if somebody comes and they subscribe to your channel, then they get a notification and then they come in and they watch more of your content and things like that. You would benefit there. Like, you would benefit via generating subscribers and people that like the content, not from the actual paid promotions themselves and the actual literal watch time that you would get from those paid promotions. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and wrap this up. So first off, I want to say thank you to everybody that has hung out in the live streams. This has been awesome. I love doing live streams because of you, because of the communities that, you know, the people, the community aspect of this, and the people, all of you that come and hang out for the live streams. You participate, you ask questions, you interact with each other and all of that. It is fantastic. That is that's the juice for me, and I appreciate every single one of you for that and for participating in the live stream today. I hope I answered some of your questions. If you are just coming into the live stream, make sure that you go back and you watch the replay, because most of the branding information is at the front. Just some things to consider when you're putting the branding together for your channel, in case you are not doing some of those things already. So so definitely make sure that you go and you watch that beginning part on the replay of this video. And besides that, my name is Nick Nimmin. I help YouTubers grow their channels, make videos, and all types of other YouTube-related stuff. Andrew just put a link to me in the chat. Make sure you head over to my channel and subscribe to my channel. And I want to thank Andrew, and I want to thank Phil as well for letting me come onto the channel and talk to you and share this information with you and answer your questions here on TubeBuddy. And if you have not, for whatever reason, if you're watching the stream and if you have not installed TubeBuddy yet, make sure that you go to tubebuddy.com/install and you go ahead and install TubeBuddy right now. It's a game changer for your YouTube channel. So make sure that you install it right now. And Amigo, thank you, my friend. I'm glad that you're finding value from this, and I will see you in a Patreon live stream coming up here, most likely here within the next couple of days. I'm just giving it a little bit more time to let a few more people get in there. So thank you guys again so much for hanging out. I really appreciate you, and I appreciate you hanging out, and I appreciate you guys being a part of TubeBuddy and a part of my channel and all of that, and just being a part of YouTube and the community, and for being creative people and making awesome content. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.